How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews back with... I want to call it an editorial. I hate when people say that shit, to be perfectly honest with you. It's me talking into the camera, not reviewing beer. It's me talking about beer without reviewing beer, which is still me talking about beer. Anyway, so, why am I doing this? You know, shit goes down. Stuff happens. People start talking about it, and people flip the fuck out. Today's news, Wicked Weed. Wicked Weed, oh, Wicked Weed. Got bought out by AB InBev. What do you want to call it? Bought out, purchased, combined, whatever. And, yeah, I'm here to talk about it. I'm here to give my thoughts on it. My thoughts. Who gives a fuck? Don't buy it. See ya. But seriously, yeah. Wicked Weed getting purchased by AB InBev. Okay. Brewery's going to get purchased. You know what I mean? We all know the list. It's quite long with Goose Island and you know, Blue Point and it can keep going on. Golden Road and, you know, Ballast Point. It keeps going on and on and on. I don't get that pissed over it, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't care. I honestly don't. And that's a weird thing, because I think people construe that with not giving a shit about beer. You know, listen, I talking to a camera by myself about beer, so obviously I give a shit about it. I just don't really give a shit about, how do I put it? It's an odd one. I was trying to think of analogies, and the best thing I can do it is, it's your girlfriend or boyfriend. Doesn't matter. You can work both ways. But for me, it would be a girlfriend, because I like women. It'd be like dating a girl, you know, and everything is awesome. You invested time and you put in whatever, and then you know, it can go a lot of different ways. You could just kind of have the kind of, you know, and again, this is me talking here. You can kind of have the middle of the road kind of Great Lakes unibrew kind of a relationship where it kind of like you have one every now, you know, everything's fine. You know you're not in love, but at the same time you're just together, and you know everything's cool, but you're not really totally invested. So you just enjoy each other's company, and then eventually one day some person just gets fed up or finds someone better, and then you're just like, you know what, just get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Then you have the quick hitter relationship. You're like, oh my god, you know what I mean? This is awesome. I'm in love. This is gonna be the best thing ever. And then 2 weeks go by, and you're like, why the fuck did I date this person to begin with? Then, you know, and then you have, you know, your long-term relationship that is actually like, so almost like you're dating a sociopath. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, everything's awesome, and then you date them for like a year. You know what I mean? Everything's great. You know what I mean? Things are going swimmingly. You fucking end up moving in together, and then immediately shit fucking changes, and you're like, I am not even dating the same fucking person right now. What the fuck is going on? And all those happen. You know what I mean? Hopefully the last one, which I'll talk about, happens too, which is true love. You know, all that shit happens. And it's the same thing with beer, man. You know, we invest time. We invest time and money into beer the same way we would a relationship. And, you know, it sucks, you know, if a brewery you love kind of fucking sells out. I'm going to air quote the shit out of that. So if that makes you nauseous and you want to throw up, then turn the shit off. You know, all those things happen. And we invest the time, we invest money and all that stuff. So when someone you actually think is kind of like your brewery, which is odd enough to begin with, kind of jump ship, it sucks. But at the same time, there's a couple things with that. One, you know, if a brewery jumps ship, one, you don't know where they're at in their lives. You don't know where their families are at, how their family's functioning. You don't know what's going on. Maybe they need to do so, maybe whatever. So to besmirch them or to fucking call them a piece of shit for doing so, I think is halfway retarded, because who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? Maybe they got shit to do. You know what I mean? And they need to do what they need to do. If I was in that position, I'd do the same fucking thing. Another end would be, maybe they want the fucking money. I might just want the fucking money. You know what I mean? That's actually probably the biggest point I have, is that maybe they just view it as a way to fucking make them and their family lives set moving forward. Which a lot of people say, well, then you're selling out. Then fucking call it selling. I don't give a fuck what you call it. Sell out. Because you know what you do? You take that money, you sell that fucking business, you walk away, and then you fucking start a new brewery, and you do it the way you want to fucking do it from the beginning. You know what I mean? You have all these breweries that like grow and grow and grow and grow and invest all these monies in their business. And typically what they're doing is they're expanding from inside out. And it's almost like very rarely does a brewery kind of open the dream facility they ever wanted. You know what I mean? And then, you know, someone shows up one day. So, rewind it a little bit. And while they're growing, they're kind of patchworking themselves along. Sure, some open new facilities and move. But even at that point, they're kind of not, you know, flush. You know what I mean? They're kind of borrowing capital and they're kind of opening, you know, stuff that in a way they want to open. But still, they can't do it exactly the way they want to fucking do it. And then, you know, there's a little bit of, okay, the brewery's not exactly the way I want it, but at the same time, I'm doing really fucking well. Imagine you own that fucking brewery, and someone said, instead of saying, hey, I want to buy your brewery, if they said, hey, I'll give you all this money for all your equipment, you can go build your dream brewery in the way you want to fucking build it. The only thing is you can't use the same name. I think almost every fucking brewer would be like, fuck it, let's do it. You know what I mean? Sure, there's some that lend their last names, things like that. And there's a little bit of sentimental value to it. But at the same time, it's a name, man. It's a fucking name. Like when brewers leave breweries, the brewer can go make beer. And you can still drink that beer that's not made by that brewery. And so many of these breweries that people love rotate head brewers out of themselves all the time. You know what I mean? You see here about brewers come and go from breweries from here and there and all that all the time. So it's a really weird thing I notice is that people kind of glom onto these breweries like they have some kind of personal connection to it. And I get you go to a brewery, you have a good time. Oh, I was there since the beginning. All that fucking bullshit that makes you romanticize it in your head that you had something to do with it. Listen, if you didn't show up at that brewery on opening night and you weren't there the whole time, they would still exist. So it's a problem for you. And I understand if you're bitter about it, the same way someone's bitter when the girlfriend leaves them. But at the same time, you know, get over it. You'll be fucking fine. If you like the beer that much, you can still buy it. But if you're that pissed off, if you're that fragile, you're more than welcome to not buy the beer. Or chances are, if that brewery decides, you know, the brewers decide to walk away, then when that brewer opens a new brewery, go drink his beer. Because then you can feel righteous about it. Be like, he left. He sold out, but then he left because he didn't feel like he wanted to be confined by the man, you know. and that's the thing with it. It's just that the outrage behind, it almost seems like all the outrage from almost everybody is from the beer drinker. You rarely hear it from the beer journalist. I mean, they have, you know, they can't really say exactly what they feel half the time. So that is what it is. A lot of breweries won't even voice their opinion. There are some, you know, Jester King voiced their opinion pretty heavily about Wicked Weed, saying they wouldn't have any of their products. They said they were good. They did the whole, with all due respect. They said you know, we love these guys, but we're never going to drink their beer in public ever again or have their beer associated with us anymore. So they did the whole all due respect thing, which is fine too. You want to do that? That's awesome. You know what I mean? They're friends, but if you hate that path they took so much, then why would you still be friends? I always find that weird one. It's kind of like, you know, if one of your friends becomes like something creepy, like religious or something, and you hate religion that much, and then they become over religious, be like, well, you know, I hate religion, but I'll still be friends with them. Do you know what I mean? But if they were like one of those crazy religious people, or any of those cult things that people follow, you know, if someone goes so far off the deep end that that's who they are as a person, you know, I don't know. There's a little tangent for you. But in the end, I just don't, I get it. I get the wanting to be pure and good and everything be butterflies and rainbows. But the reason why it doesn't piss me off that much is a couple of reasons. One, if a brewery kind of sells out, then maybe we didn't think they are, or they weren't who we thought they were from the get-go. If that's the case, then them selling out shows us who they are. Then we can, you know, not pay their bills by buying any of their shit. You know, two, it doesn't bother me because it's never going to really affect the core of what beer is in general. You know, Wicked Weed or any of those breweries going out and selling out and being bought up by these companies, they're not going to end the bottom. They're not going to change the bottom line. They're not going to crush the beer industry. It's just not going to happen. Sure, they're going to get the top feeders, or I should say bottom feeders of the world. Sure, they might gain a little bit of that. You know what I mean? They will gain the casual beer drinker who goes to ball games and airports and things like that. But for the people that are really into it, you know what I mean? Sure, they might enjoy Wicked Wheat beer still. I probably will. I enjoy me some fucking... I'm drinking Lagunitas right now. I enjoy me some fucking Bourbon County Stout from time to time. Do you know what I mean? Like, I fucking... What else? You know, I think I had something from Devil's Backbone the other day. I don't chase that shit down, but if I'm in a bar and it's the best thing they have, I'll fucking drink it. But at the same time, beer's getting so regional. You know what I mean? Such, I want to say small, but breweries kind of owning communities. And they're not going to come down and they're never going to crush your local brew pub. They're never going to crush your local brewery that is around, there's going to be around, that's making really good beer. You know, there's the argument that, you know, their price points can undercut whatever and this and that. You can say that about anything. But here's the thing, too. If they make a fucking price point that is super cheap and better than everybody else, then that's your own fucking fault for not making something better. These regional breweries, these small breweries, are just not going to go away. They're not going to do it. They're going to be around because they're not just a product on the shelves. They're fucking people meeting in places. They're people hanging out and people enjoying themselves. Now, you can say, that's where fucking Wicked Wheat started. You know what I mean? They were that company. You know? It is what it is, but that's always going to be around in some form or fashion. So, you know... What else is there? Now you're talking to a guy wearing a brewery t-shirt, wearing an Arsenal track jacket in half of my reviews. So you're just like, hey dude, you are brand loyal. You know, I am. To an extent. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's breweries I really do enjoy. But I'm not you. I'm not that person getting pissed off over this, not so fragile to where their life is now crushed or has an issue with this, or feel like it's going to do some damage to something they just got into the past couple of years. Or at the same time, you know what I mean? Like, if my favorite sports team, you know what I mean? Like got sold to a whatever war criminal like Chelsea or something like that, you know, like Chelsea did. You know what I mean? Like, you know, either I'm going to stay a fan of the club or I'm going to go somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? Like, we have choices, and I don't get it. I just don't get it. I get being bummed. I'm bummed. We're all allowed to be bummed. Be like, oh, that sucks, man. Another one bites the dust. Boo-hoo. It fucking sucks. But to get in an uproar like it's going to do something to the bottom line of craft beer in the community and everything else, I think, is a bunch of bullshit. You know what I mean? So, you know, I don't know. Someone showed up at my door with $50 million. I'm not saying that's what they got bought for. I'm just saying a number out there. You know, and I could do right by my family. I probably would definitely think about it, if not do it. And it would afford me the opportunity to make more beer the way I wanted to do it in a facility that I could do it. Really just making a lateral move to grow bigger in the end, or grow better. I shouldn't even say bigger, better in the end. Honestly, it doesn't really bother me all that much. Sure, it's probably the most unpopular opinion about this angle, but honestly, you know, here's the deal with beer. You make good beer. If you make really good beer, people are going to fucking buy it. Almost regardless who makes it. If you're a dog fighting baby killer, people aren't going to buy your beer. But, you know what I mean? If you make good beer, and you do it in a way that employs people and is a proper environment, and you don't do it as a piece of shit, do you know what I mean? Then, you know, life is going to go on. So there you go. That's my 2 cents. Probably an unpopular opinion, but at the same time, you know, it's how I fucking feel. I'm not gonna get that pissed off about somebody else fucking securing their life for their family, and or in their eyes might be doing the right thing as far as how they should grow their business. You know what I mean? I just, you know, I honestly feel bad for all the butthurt fanboys who feel like they've had some kind of overt personal connection that warrants them for being just bitches, you know. So there you go. A little me yammering in the camera about not a review for you. If you think I'm fucking dumb as fuck, let me know. If you think I'm right, let me know. Somewhere in between, let me know. So hopefully you guys enjoyed me yammering. Hopefully enjoying a nice beer that you enjoy, that tastes good, regardless of where you purchased it. And hopefully see you next time. Cheers.